Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Every time I hear that, I feel like saying, let's play ball. How's everyone doing today? Good to see you all. I hope you're all having a great weekend. And I'm doing this special live stream because I call it a special live stream because we normally don't have a live stream anymore on Sundays. But I'm doing it because every once in a while, I do a live stream during a day in which we normally don't do it. That way, people that can join in that normally cannot join in when we have our regularly scheduled live streams can come and join in once in a while and hang out with the community. So I hope you're all doing well. This is 100% open forum. We can talk about anything that you want to talk about, not only with me, but amongst yourselves in the chats. And if there's something that you want to share with the community, either something that you want to talk about or a question that you may have, please put it all in caps, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to see you all. There's Trucker Hersey. How you doing? Cold War Preppers in the house. Copernicus, thank you very much for joining in. I know it's kind of late where you're at. Lone Star Luck, how are you doing? Bob Bissell, how are you? Glock 316, I like it. Arctic Maggie is in the house. How are you doing? Captain Pegleg. Let's see. Doug Veres, how are you doing? Thank you very much, Doug. You're very kind. Thank you for that. That always puts a pep in your step, you know, when someone has something very nice to say. So thank you. No more blue ices. I think that's how you say it. How you doing? Rick Stahl, how are you? All the way from Ohio. Brad Lovely, how are you doing? Good to see you. Nora May, Gina Brown, Marilyn Roan, Lewis Price, Kevin Grip is in the house. How you doing, Kevin? Good to see you. All American Prepper is here. Welcome. Pat Small, Jenny's Love. Jan made it to the party. How you doing, Jan? Good to see you. Tony Oliveras, how are you doing? Let's see. Karina Evans, Troll, Keisha Wagner. How are you doing, Keisha? Good to see you. Surfing on Static, Ultra Mega Prepper. Good to see you today. Welcome. Stella Murray, Linda Hamilton, all the way from Oklahoma. S. Cub, how are you doing? Let's see. Jen Mom, how are you? Mary Marks, excuse me. All right, well, have a good dinner, Trucker Hersey. Have a good dinner on us, huh? Or with us, I guess. Dinner here is not for a few more hours, but guess what we're having for dinner tonight? We're having a little bit of beef in the form of a steak. All right, TJ Pelfrey, I'm actually working on a video that's going to be all over the place. This video is going to be so over the place, ladies and gentlemen. It'll probably be out on Tuesday. Unless some big news stuff happens, I may release this video out on Tuesday in place of our Tuesday news video, just for a little bit of a break in news. And it's going to be all over the place. So I'm thinking that I may change the title of it every day for like the next 5 days after I post it, because I'm going to show you all on that video how I process. People were asking me, someone even sent me an email and asked me about this, how I process my beef for before I put it in the freezer or for before I set it up for the week. Because usually we'll have enough beef for a week set aside in the refrigerator so that we can eat off of it every day. All right. Or whenever we want, really. We don't really have it every single day. We break it up a couple of times during the week. But there's a method that's called dry brining. And in my opinion, it is the best method to prepare beef and also other meats, other kinds of meats, because it gives it such an awesome flavor. right? So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be going to the local laundromat. Imagine that, going to the laundromat. Well, they opened a new laundromat here. My wife went a couple of months ago because we wanted to use some industrial size washers and dryers for like some really big, thick blankets that we have that don't really fit very well in our washer. And we have a couple of carpets that are machine washable, right? That will actually fit in industrial size. So when she did it, I could not believe how much it cost to do like 4 loads of laundry. So tomorrow I'm going to go on the trip that we're on the next trip to do the same thing that she did back then, just to check it out, do a little recording so you can all see what it's like up here as far as a laundromat goes and how much it costs, because the price, in my opinion, is crazy. But it is a new laundromat, so it may be worth it, right? I'm gonna go over the chickens with you. I'm gonna go and show you what kind of food I feed them, you know, how I mix it, and I'm gonna go ahead and introduce those of you that haven't met our chickens, to introduce you to them so that you can see our 2 roosters, our alpha and our beta. Let me see. There's a few other things also that we're going to be doing. So it's going to be all over the place, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun, right? It's just little bits and pieces of the day. Oh yeah, there's going to be a couple of other things that's going to be a lot of fun to do, ladies and gentlemen. So don't miss it. Don't miss that video for this Tuesday coming up. Let's see. TJ Pelfrey, how you doing? Butterfly 31. Thank you all for joining in today. Look at that. Butch Graves is in the house all the way from the 4 corners. Cindy Smith, Ali is in the house. How you doing, Ali? Good to see you. Julie, how are you doing? Okay, let's see. Julie says we started on Carnivore 1/1 of this year, January 1st of this year. Amazing. It's going to be awesome. All right. It's going to be awesome. I already knew that with my metabolism, that with Carnivore, I was probably going to be the only person in the world that goes on Carnivore and doesn't lose a lot of weight. I lost a little bit of weight, haven't lost any more. I actually gained some back, but my goal with Carnivore, first and foremost, was always to regulate my blood sugar, and that I've done, right? It's actually pretty good. It's not the very best, but, you know, considering where it was a little over a year ago, it's very, very good today. All right, so John Baxter, how you doing? Let me see. Let's convoys of planes over me in the middle of Britain. Really? Well, what kind of planes, John? Let us know. Michael Lewandowski, how are you doing? Good afternoons from you to you from Shasta, California. Michelle Shancone, Tyrone Harrison, how are you doing? All the way from Orlando, Florida. Deborah Calvert, party preppers in the house. Well, it's a good thing we have a party prepper. We all need a good party once in a while, huh? Brad Lovely, cool as ice, how are you doing? All the way from Northeast Ohio. Zook. Again, for those of you that just joined in, I'm doing a live stream, a special live stream today, really for you all that normally can't join in on our regularly scheduled live streams. So hopefully some of you that can join in saw that we were live today, and you can come in and you know, do a little bit of back and forth with the community here in the chats. And if you have any questions about anything, put it all in caps. And if you have anything you want to share with the community, like what's the price of gas where you're at and where are you, put it all in caps. And then we'll probably hang out for about the next hour and 20 minutes. Let's see. Lulu is over there on the couch sleeping. And if she wakes up, I'll bring her over so that you can all see how big she's getting. She's getting so big, ladies and gentlemen. She's such a pretty dog. And I only have her here today because the other 2 dogs, to have them all here at the same time, would not work. All right, would not work because she is not part of the team just yet when it comes to Karma and Dog. Okay, how you doing, James Tyler? Good to see you, my friend. Robert McCandless, how are you doing? Jeffrey Lindquist is in the house. Suzanne Daniel, how are you? Corina Evans. Let's see. Corina Evans, favorite off-grid water filters. Well, you know, I am partnered with Simpure, and I have not reviewed a product from Simpure that as of this date, I do not really like. I actually have a video that I did probably about 2 to 3 weeks ago on the gravity-fed filtration system that they sell. I believe it's called the U3. It comes with a spigot that has a UV light on it, which is pretty cool. It's the only one I've ever seen that has one. And I haven't released it yet because they're all out of stock. So I was going to release that video when I did it, but they were like, can you please not release it because we're out of stock and we don't want people wanting to buy it and then us having to tell them that it's out of stock. But when I released that video, take a look at it. I think it is an outstanding system. And the filters, ladies and gentlemen, are such a good deal that I need to buy some of those filters just to have them, because in my opinion, they're very high quality at a very, very good price. But anyways, I digress on that. Yeah, I would go with Simpure. However, if you have zero water, right? If you're on a budget and you need to get some zero water filtration from Amazon, go to my Amazon storefront. It's there. It's easy to find. Zero water gives you pretty much reverse osmosis water with a regular filter. That you replace like your Brita filters, let's say. They're only about $9 or $10 per filter. If you buy a pack of 8, I think they come out to be about, I don't know, about $9 each or $8 each, something like that. It's been a while since I bought some. And the water that comes out of there is outstanding quality water. Okay, so if you're on a budget, that's probably a good budget filter to buy, because to start out, it's like $35-$40 for a pitcher with the filter, and then you just have to buy replacing filters for it. Let's see, if you're a Berkey maximalist, where Berkey is it, man, Berkey has stood the test of time. I know that Berkey had that little thing here a while back where people were talking bad about it, but I think, don't quote me on this, I think that those accusations were debunked. Okay, so whatever works for you, really. A reverse osmosis filtration system, a countertop, is a great off-grid filtration system, even though it needs energy. The reason I say it's a great off-grid filtration system is because it only uses about 28 or 30 watts of energy. So, I mean, you can probably pump enough water through there and get RO water for your whole day, let's say 4 or 5 gallons, with maybe, who knows, maybe about 30 or 40 watt hours of energy, which is really nothing. Okay, so that's a great filtration system as well from Simpure. And but it really has to be what works for you, ladies and gentlemen. I can only tell you of the things that I've tested and the things that I like, right? I'm not going to tell you about something that I really don't like. Some filtration systems that are a really good filtration system, if you're on the go, if you want to keep in your bug out bag or get home bag, Mini Sawyer is a great filtration system. Simpure has a small filtration system that's gravity, that comes with I think it's a 1.5 or 2 liter bag, which is a really nice filtration system. I'll be reviewing that one this summer sometime. But yeah, there's plenty of them. All American Prepper, how you doing? Away from Florida, Central Florida. Rick Stiles said, "Is Gray Man here? We will never know because I never let him talk." Oh, you guys get on me all the time. I'm sorry, but that's what I do, is I talk. Let's see. How you doing, Kitty? Good to see you. Minnesota here. Called my pharmacy at Walmart. Asked if I needed to bring a written prescriptions. Technician asked pharmacist, and he said, and the technician asked the pharmacist, and then he said that the state and federal payments still not show up. So yes, you need to bring in a written prescription, I'm guessing, is what you're saying. So, Kitty, what I'm guessing or trying to decipher from what you wrote here is that there is a problem in Minnesota with your prescriptions and the system by which they're generated from or stored in, so that pharmacists can actually see that they were prescribed to you from a doctor. I'm guessing. I can't say that for a fact. How you doing, Joel Hunter? Good to see you. Let's see. Acme, how are you doing? Good to see you all the way from Indiana. Rusty. Sean in Alaska is in the house. How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. I'm really glad that you joined in. See, this is why I like doing a live stream every once in a while on a day that normally I don't. It's because I get to see some of you all that I don't see on a regular basis. It's good to, hey, man, your cabin is coming out great, right? I'm usually lurking in the background, once in a while. I try to watch at least 1 or 2 prepper videos a day from like the 250 that I'm subscribed to. just so that YouTube won't unsubscribe me. So I do lurk in the background, and I check you out every once in a while, along with everyone else. And your cabin is looking great, man. Anybody can do it, ladies and gentlemen. Go check out Sean in Alaska. Anyone can do it. Anyone can. Go see what he did. He's not a builder. He's never built before, right? But if you know how to read, if you have a little bit of common sense, not that much, because I don't have that much, and I built my own house, right? But if you know how to read, if you know how to read a ruler, if you know how to read a tape measure, if you have a little bit of work ethic, you can do it. You do not have to be beholden to the man for the next 30 years to go and get a mortgage. You may not have the best house in the world, but it'll be your house, okay? I was talking to my wife about this the other day. I said, I'd rather live in our house, which is not the best in the world, right? It's got its little quirks thing here and there, right? And not owe the man anything, than to live in the nicest house in the world and know that I'll be a slave to the system for the next 30 years. So anyone can do it. It's good to see you, my friend. Thanks for being here. Mario is in the house. Let's see. Joel J. How you doing, Joel? Would you rather collect silver coins or rounds? That's a great question. And my answer may sound like a cop-out, but it's not. It's what I truly believe. I believe that diversification is the key in everything. I.e., for example, I rather collect coins, even though they have a higher premium, right? Because they are sovereigns. I call them sovereigns, minted by governments. I like to collect rounds. I like to collect junk silver. I like to also collect bars, small bars, medium-sized bars, not really big bars, but I like to collect all types of silver. I even collect a few 925s, sterlings, you know, or 92.5s, really, sterlings, or 925s, they call it also. I think that being diversified is important. And I also think that instead of collecting 100% silver, that you should also collect a little bit of gold as well. Not as much as silver, in my opinion, but a little bit. So, for example, make a rule that makes sense to you. Like, let's say that for every 100 or 200 ounces of silver that you buy, I'm just making up numbers here. Let's say for every 1 or 200 ounces of silver that you collect, that you say, I'm going to buy 1 ounce of gold. All right, or the equivalent of 1 ounce of gold, be it in grams or 1/10 ounce or whatever, right? I think that having a little bit of gold is very important, just as much as having silver. But I think that being diversified in everything is very important. Like, for example, what's the first thing that I say you ought to prep if you're going to become prepared? It's the first thing that everyone preps, right? Water and food. Because everyone needs water, everybody needs food. And that's the way that you get people to start prepping this, because that is kind of like a fun way to start preparing, right? But I always tell you, even though I love nutrient survival, I love freeze-dry foods, I think they have a place in every pantry, right? Always put away what you eat first. Always put away what you eat first. But I think that once you have a certain amount of food in your pantry, which is the food that you eat that you can rotate through, for me, that number is 1 year. It's 12 months, right? Once you have, in my case, 12 months worth of food in your pantry, then you can diversify into other foods. I believe that every pantry should have some freeze-dried foods. I believe that every prepper pantry or long-term storage space, may not be in your pantry, you should have long-term storage foods in bulk, like rice, beans, oats, legumes, etc., right? I believe that instead of just having freeze-dried meats, that also pressure canned meats is also good. Have a diversification of pressure canned meats, freeze-dried meats, meats that are in a can that you buy from a store, etc. You know, that way you can be diversified in everything, because everything has its place. You know, some people do not believe in freeze-dried meals because they're kind of pricey. But especially if you live in an area that you're very close-knit, where you have neighbors that are like really nearby, do you really want them to smell you cooking from scratch during the beginning of a crisis, right? Or do you want to be able to heat up some hot water, put it in a pouch that's not going to really make a lot of smell that will travel, and then eat your food and then be able to take care of what you need to take care of? You know, freeze-dried food, again, very light. You can take it with you. You can take a water filtration system with you, mini Sawyer, a Simpure, gravity fed, whatever it is. And on your trip, you can find water, make it potable with your filtration system, and then you can use that to heat and put into your freeze-dried meals. All right, so there's a lot of uses for different things. Be diversified in everything. And look at that. You asked me about silver, and here I am talking about food. And that is why Gray Man can't get a word in during our live streams. All right. And by the way, tomorrow on Monday at 3 p.m. Alaska time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, we will be doing the Welcome to the Apocalypse episode live with Gray Man on his channel. So as soon as he sends me a link to the thumbnail, I'll go ahead and post it on my community page so you can all be notified tomorrow to go to his channel and check out our live stream, because, ladies and gentlemen, it's just a lot of fun. We always have a lot of fun. I always get berated by the comments saying, AP, let Gray Man talk. But what he's done is now he brings two cups of water instead of one. That way he doesn't get thirsty from not being able to say anything for an hour. I think I'm doing better, though. Rex Wilhite is in the house, our Fairbankster taxi driver. Okay, Rex says, those are all brand new Dexter wash and dryer in that place, so it will be expensive. Yeah, I don't know how much it is. All I know is that when my wife showed me the bill the last time, I was like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. But we're going to check it out. It's going to be fun. I mean, I'm not really complaining how much it is, because I'm just happy that they have the service where we can actually take not clothing, but articles or things that we need to wash that's too big for our washer, and that we can take there and wash it there. So I'm glad that they have that service, and people can pay for it if they want, and they don't have to pay for it if they don't want to. But I'm gonna go check it out tomorrow and hang out with my wife there doing a little bit of laundry. Let's see. Debbie, hello. How are you doing? AP, heard of any more good sales on freeze dryers? I have not kept up with any freeze dryer sales lately. So you would have to check. What I would check is check out Sportsman's Warehouse, sportsmanswarehouse.com. That's where I bought my freeze dryer, and it was at a good price. And I was able to get a military discount also. If you are a veteran, you'll be able to get a military discount. I didn't know what was going on. Trucker Hershey says, you see any videos of people losing their minds when cell service went off? No, I haven't seen any of those, but I don't know what was it. Was it on Friday? On Friday or Thursday? One of those days, I think it was, that here, the reception here was really, really bad. But believe it or not, I still had reception. I still had cell service reception. It was very, very bad. It was very sketchy, but I was still able to make phone calls. I was still able to text, and I was even still able to watch a video on YouTube on my phone if I wanted to. Excuse me. So it was really bad. I was wondering what was going on. And then I started seeing videos like, oh, was this a cyber attack, or was it the dual solar flares that went off the sun? Me personally, I think it had everything to do with the solar flares, because I have been tracking those via the Suspicious Observers YouTube channel. And solar flares, we all know that whenever they hit the earth, that is going to disrupt our satellites. It's going to disrupt our communications and things like that, even our energy grid, if they're big enough. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that more than likely it was just solar flares. But I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, there's a couple solar flares coming, which were pretty good sized solar flares, and they collided with the earth, right? So naturally, that's going to cause disturbances, in communications, et cetera, internet. Now, do you really think that it was a cyber attack when we know that the solar flares, made a contact with the earth? I would say that it's more likely solar flares that made that happen. Because a lot of people are saying, yeah, it was probably a cyber attack. Whatever it was, be prepared. Be prepared. Okay, let's see. I'm bringing it down. For those of you that just joined in, thank you for joining in. What I'm doing today is I'm just doing a live stream so that those that normally can't join in during our regular live streams hopefully can join in today and do a little bit of fellowship amongst our community here. So if you have any questions or any comments that you want to share with the community, put it all in caps, ladies and gentlemen, and then we can hang out for probably about the next hour or so, hopefully. Mario says, did the Simpure water filters pass the test like any local city that you see? The thing is, for me, they did, but I decided not to share. And this is why, because you need to do your own. You cannot, ladies and gentlemen, look, water filtration, in my opinion, is so important. And I believe I talked about this here a while back. Water filtration and water cleanliness, in my opinion, is so very important that you cannot take the word of anyone. All right, of anyone. Look at what happened in Detroit or in Flint, Michigan, here years back. We all know that. That's the example that a lot of us use, right, when we're talking about water filtration and how important it is. Those people there, they were being told for years, yeah, the water's good. The water's good. It turns out that, from what I understand, that the state knew that the water was bad, but it was expensive to clean it. I mean, to fix the problem. It was too expensive to fix the problem. So they kept telling the people, yeah, the water is good for all these years while they knew it was bad, right? So me telling you, yep, it's good, and then you going out and getting it and never doing your own test, to me, that's not good. You have to test it yourself. That way you know that you are comfortable with allowing your family to drink that water, right? So I stand by Simpure because every one of their products that I've reviewed and tested has always done exactly what they said that it's going to do. And I'm actually going to be installing one of their tankless under sink reverse osmosis filtration systems in my new kitchen here. Probably within the next month, I'll have all the plumbing and electrical done, and I can introduce you to our new kitchen that my wife's been wanting since the day we moved into our house. Because the kitchen that I built when I was moving in there is very, very small and compact. It did the job, and it still does do the job. But, ladies and gentlemen, every once in a while, you have to, maybe do a little bit of splurging, right? Which is exactly what that is. And it's coming out very, very nice. Good thing I had nothing to do with the design. My wife did. It's coming out really, really nice, right? But I'll be installing one of those, and I'll be showing you how simple it is to actually install one of those. Very easy. But yes, you need to do your own test. You need to be comfortable that that's going to work for you. Right? Don't take anyone's word at all at how good something is as far as cleaning your water. Jupiter's Realm, how are you doing? Good to see you. Jupiter's Realm says, I need a water filtration system. Well, if you need an RO system, go check out Simpure. Use my link, and I have a 20% off code. Ladies and gentlemen, right now you can get, not right now, this is the regular price all the time. You can get a reverse osmosis filtration system that will provide, I believe it's up to 75 gallons of water a day for $120 after my discount. That's incredible. And it is a good system that actually does the job. And you can actually get one that's cheaper. The reason I recommend the one that I do that comes out to $120 after my discount is because it has a cartridge that adds back minerals that the RO system takes out of the water. So instead of giving you pure water, it gives you water with a ppm, with a particulates per million count, because it actually adds back minerals to the water that it filters. So that's why I recommend that one normally. But go check it out and get one there if you like. I also have a link right above my Simpure link that is from a water filtration system company that's 100% American. They make everything here in the U.S. All of the parts are made here in the U.S. All of the components are made here in the U.S. Everything. And you can decide which one you want to get. All right. Because people are always getting on me about, promoting things that are not made here in the United States. But it's that some things just aren't made here in the U.S. And the things that maybe are made here in the U.S., the price is so much that your average person won't get it. Well, when it comes to water filtration systems, I'd rather you get one. All right. I'd rather you have one. I don't care where they make it. As long as you have one, that's how important it is to make sure that your water is safe to drink. Because if someone cannot afford system A because it costs so much because it's made here, but they can afford system B because it's not made here, cheap labor, we all know what it is. I would rather have them have one than have none, ladies and gentlemen. That's just as simple as it is. Obviously, you see how important it is for me that people have clean water to drink, and it's not hard to do it. Oh, E. Hoffy, how are you doing? Good to see you here. what freeze-dried coffee would you buy? Okay, so anyone that's known me here for any amount of time, you're already going to know that I'm going to say get nutrient survival freeze-dried coffee if you want to put it away for long term, or if you want to have it every single day. Why? Because it's the very best freeze-dried coffee that there is. It really is. Get one pack and try it, and you're going to get it again. And it's got all the vitamins and nutrients in it, number one. Okay, now if you're looking for a freeze-dried coffee that you want to put away just because you want the caffeine, all right, and that will last pretty much forever, the ones that I put away are Taster's Choice, right? Taster's Choice freeze-dried coffee, I know will last and will make it through the test of time, right? And the reason I know it is because a few years back, I think about 2.5 years ago or so, not that long after I built the bunker, I got some Taster's Choice and I put it brand new. I put it on the windowsill of the bunker here, where it gets a lot of sun on a daily basis. And I left it there for about 2 years, 2.5 years. Then I opened it. I had it. It's not the greatest tasting coffee in the world, but it does have the caffeine in it. And I found out that if you put a little bit of cream with it, it tastes fine. So Taster's Choice, as far as a freeze-dried coffee, that's cheap, right? That's cheap because you can probably get like 3 canisters of the Taster's Choice for what it costs, or two canisters of the Taster's Choice for what it costs for a month's supply of Nutrient Survival vitamin coffee. All right. So if you can afford it, get the Nutrient Survival. Once you get that, you're going to get hooked on it because it's very, very good. Okay. And if you're looking for something to put away for long term, that's not expensive, that's pretty cheap, Taster's Choice, I think, is really good. It lasts a very long time, even under duress, I guess you can call it, or bad conditions, as far as the temperature and sunlight hitting it and everything. Oh, there you go, Cindy Smith. That's perfect. You see, Cindy Smith says, I prefer PER. I believe she's talking about water filtration system. As long as you're comfortable with it, that's what really matters. You know, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter to me what you get or where you get it, whether you use my link or not. I don't care. Just get something that you know and you're comfortable with, that the water that's coming out the other end is going to be clean. That's all that really matters. Let's see. Here's another one. Alexa Pure is okay for gravity. Okay, I do believe that I have an Alexa Pure that I bought years ago that I have in my cold store. Deep storage is what I call it. Cold deep storage. Next exit. How are you doing? Good to see you, Candy. Hello. What does Mario says? Simpure. I want to know because the Simpure water filters are 3 times cheaper than the. Yeah, I know. That's why I said I have to get more of those filters because they work great. In my opinion, those filters work really good, you know, for what you're paying for them. And I think they're rated for 3,000 gallons per filter. Okay. I can't stick by the amount because I haven't put 3,000 gallons of water through my filter. Wow, they got really expensive, Trucker Hershey. $15 a piece now. When you prepare, you save money. Because I bought those packs of 8 zero water filters. I bought those a couple years back when I first introduced them to you here on the channel. And when I bought them, I bought like 3 or 4 packs of 8. And at that time, they were only like $8. It was like $64 per pack. And I always tell people, when you prepare, you save money because inflation isn't going anywhere. That's awesome, man. Arctic Magpie says $700 Costco payday prep yesterday, filling in the gaps. I was hoping to catch you there. Well, I was actually there yesterday, Arctic Magpie. I was actually there yesterday, and it has to do with the video that I'm going to be doing for Tuesday. But I'll let you all see that because it's going to be I think it's going to be a really fun video, right? It's going to be a nightmare for me to edit, but it's going to be a fun video when it's all done. Okay, Tommy Bites is in the house. How you doing, Tommy? Where am I? Let me see. How far? I'm really far behind, ladies and gentlemen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way to the bottom. And you know what? I didn't even notice this, but let me get this out of the way. Thank you very much for Steve Gray giving away a membership to the Ladies and Gentlemen's Club. Thank you, Steve. And Florida Man, thank you very much for being a member for 31 straight months. That's awesome. Thank you for your support. I want to thank everyone for your support. And thank you for that, Florida Man. And I also want to say thank you before I forget. I've noticed here that every once in a while I get a super thanks for one of my videos. And it's that little heart that you can leave like a tip or whatever, like a super chat, but it's a super thanks. I never really promote it. I never ask people to do a super thanks because giving the videos a like and letting them run all the way through, and even if you want to support by letting an ad play through for like 30 seconds, that really helps a lot. The YouTube algorithm likes to see that and they promote the channel even more. And it helps with a little bit of revenue also. But I want to say thank you very much to all of you that have left super thanks. I really do appreciate it. It's not expected ever, but I do appreciate it whenever it does happen. So thank you so much for those of you that have done that. My home insurance doubled. Isn't that something? It's everything, ladies and gentlemen. Wait until they start running out of money on the local level, right? The local level. Wait till you see your taxes go up. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Let's see. Michael's Farm, how are you doing? Good to see you. The other day, my sister made her first 5-gallon with Mylar bags. She packed rice and beans. She was so proud of herself. She is my older sister by 6 years, and she was excited to show me. That is awesome. That is awesome. I love hearing those stories. Yes, Ali, we are still going to have a live stream tomorrow if everything is good on Gray Man's side. All right. If everything is good on his side, we will have a live stream tomorrow. Right now, I don't anticipate anything bad happening here on my side. Right. So right now, I'm anticipating being there tomorrow for the live stream. But if everything's good on his side, yes, absolutely. Man, that would have been a great deal. But the thing is, Deborah says we missed a deal on a Berkey for $80 on an auction. That would have been a great deal. But you know, you can make your own Berkey with some food grade plastic buckets and a spigot. Just type in Alaska Prepper Berkey and a video that I put out. I don't know, it's probably about 4 years ago or so, where I show you how to make your own Berkey. As long as you have a spigot, a couple of food grade buckets, a couple of lids, and the filters for a Berkey. Or you can buy the filters from Simpure and use those. It's very easy to do, and I think the only tool that you need is a little wrench and a drill, so that you can drill the hole for the spigot. Very, very easy to do. Okay, so I'm so far behind in the chats that what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it all the way down. So if I missed a question that you may have asked, just go ahead and repost it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, because I'm going to bring it all the way down. Okay, let's see. I have it all the way down. Oh, there you go. Hey, thank you, Yarn Prepper. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have your antibiotics, emergency antibiotics, go check out Contingency Medical and use my code for, I think it's $10 off. And you can get your emergency antibiotics. That's one of the things that I think everyone ought to have because you just never know. I did have a community member tell me once here within the last year and a half or two that I think she was from Canada, I believe. But she went to the doctor with her child because her child had an infection and he needed antibiotics. It was a boy. And they gave her a prescription. She went to all of the pharmacies in her area. None of them had the antibiotic. None of them had it. She went back to the doctor and asked them, can you help me out? And they're like, no, all we do is write the prescriptions. It's up to you to get the medicine. That's it. And it was actually one of the antibiotics that Contingency Medical sells in the pack that they sell. It's very easy to get it. It's 100% legal and lawful. All right. You get a prescription from a real pharmacy, from a real pharmacist. that was issued to them by a real doctor. So there's nothing sketchy about it. And it takes about 5 minutes to go through the process, literally about 5 minutes. And then you probably get your stuff in the next week or so, maybe less than a week. So if you haven't looked into that, take a look into that. I heard about some balloon that was intercepted by the United States. I haven't really heard too much about that. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I don't really, it's over, ladies and gentlemen. It is over as far as us, United States, having security that is provided by our federal government. It's over. In these United States, in my opinion, we have no security that is going to be provided to us by our federal government as a country, as a nation. So it is going to be up to we, the people, to ensure that we have the resources and the armament that we need, to include the governors of each state having control and the resources for their national guards, and having the open-mindedness to allow citizens to assist in whatever may occur. All right, ladies and gentlemen, be it a local or systemic nature. Because as far as the federal government goes for protecting we the people, for protecting our borders, for protecting us, period, they're more concerned about protecting those other borders of those other countries that maybe have some dirt on them. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all there's to it. All right, it's not difficult. It's not really difficult. People get angry, people get triggered, and all this kind of stuff. But all you have to do is open your eyes and see what's going on. We're sending billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars to other nations, to other countries, so that they can protect their borders, and we're leaving our borders completely empty. In the last 3 years, 7 to 8 million people that have not been vetted came through our border. So do you really think that the federal government cares about the security of our nation? They're sold out, ladies and gentlemen. I've often called them whores because that's what they are. They've sold out. So we, the people, have to ensure that we take the steps necessary, not only to protect ourselves and our families, but also our communities and hopefully our states, because there's only so much that you can do. I think that if we do that, that we as a nation will be okay, because there may be a lot of havoc from all of these sleeper cells that are all over the country. But in the end, I believe that we will win. And I can only hope and dream that those people responsible for turning their backs on their constituents, on the people that elected them to serve us, we the people, I can only hope that in the end that they are served justice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, real justice. And I hope that it would be broadcasted to everyone in the world so that we can see justice be played out the right way, so that any future administrations that come into office and want to do the same thing will be deterred from selling out their nation. Anyways, I digress. Let me see. 20 on Pump 5. How you doing? Good to see you. Let me see. Are mortgages going up for those who already own a home? Not if you don't refinance. All right, 20 on Pump 5. Not if you don't refinance. So, for example, let's say that you bought a house 5 years ago when mortgage rates were 2.5%. Okay. And you have a 30-year mortgage. Let's say you have a 30-year mortgage. I don't recommend it, but anyways, let's say you have a 30-year mortgage that's at 2.5% because you purchased your home and you took out that mortgage 5 years ago when the interest rates were really low. As long as you don't refinance that mortgage is not going up for you. It's going up for anyone that refinances or finances a new loan. All right, I hope that makes sense. Antonia Alicea, how are you doing? All the way from the Pocono Mountains, welcome. Be Free, Be Frugal is in the house. How are you doing? Good to see you. Let's see. Here you go. If you guys want to go check out Gray Man Prepping, I always recommend it, not only because he's my friend, but because I think he has a great YouTube channel. So go check out Gray Man Prepping. Right there is the link, ladies and gentlemen. And you don't have to tell him that I sent you or anything like that. It's nothing about that. It's just about that I only talk about or promote channels that I think are great. And also Tommy Bites was here. I forgot to say go check out Tommy Bites. She has a great channel as well. And I'm so happy for you, Tammy. Tommy Bites, I'm so happy for you. You know why? Because I went on your channel the other day and I saw how awesome you're doing. I think you're over 100,000 subscribers, and that is great. So congratulations to you on that. I never leave comments because it's not what I'm about. I like, looking in the background and just going and checking out channels here and there. And I don't want to overtake like the comments by leaving comments. But anyways, I was on your channel the other day. It looks like you're doing really great. So congratulations to you. Let's see. Doug Veres, how are you doing? Let me see. Been house shopping. A home came up today. $130,000, I'm guessing. However, the taxes were $9,000 a year. That's ridiculous. That's one of the things that really upsets me is when I talk about taxes like that. It's ridiculous. You never, ever own your home in this country. And that's not the way that our founders wanted it to be. That's not the way that it was until it got changed by people that betrayed us. But anyways, Antonia Alicea, I believe that Berkeys are rated for either 2,000 or 3,000 gallons per. However, you can make them last longer if you regularly clean them and back flush them. There's a video out there, I forgot what it was, that teaches you how to clean your Berkey filter and how to back flush them with like a vinegar and water mixture, something like that. And it's said that it will last you a lot longer than 3,000 gallons. So just check that out, and maybe it'll last you twice as long. As long as there's water going through it, it's going to be filtering. Let's see. Okay. Really busted beak. I purchased an OUPES and tried to use your discount, but it would not take. I'm assuming that was pretty recent. Okay, so I'm going to have to check in on that and see what the deal is with that. I do know that, I fought for that 5% off, that 5% coupon that I have. I think it's just Alaska Prepper. I fought for that. And they didn't want to give it to me initially. Not because they're, because they're that kind of people. They're really good people behind the scenes there, I believe. But it's because they're already selling their Opus there's very, very small profit. Okay, and they're already selling at pretty low price as far as how much it costs them to make it. But I have to take a look at that and see what's going on with that, because if it's not working, they should have told me something, and maybe they did, and I just haven't seen it in my email. Let me see. Juanita Morris, how are you doing? All the way from Pocatello, Idaho. How are you? Michael's Stacking, how are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Let's see. Bar King Wolf Spider, how are you? Good to see you. Big howdy from South Carolina. Let me go ahead and move this over here real quick. Maybe I can stop looking away from you all. Let's see. Okay. A Nurse for You, how are you doing? Good to see you. John Baxter, how are you? Okay, I'm still looking. Hey, how you doing, Jay Tharp? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Many blessings to you as well. Thank you. Teresa Chenery, how are you doing? Good to see you. That's why I like doing video live streams every once in a while on these days, because I get to see some of you that I haven't seen for a while. Oh, let's see. So we have a new community members, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome them to the AP community. Aloha just subbed. Awesome channel. Wife and I used to live in Anchorage. Oh, very nice. We were just there a few months ago. Last time we went to Anchorage, when was it? I think I did a video about it. I think it was maybe after Thanksgiving and before Christmas. Gilberto Ramos, how are you doing? Good to see you. Oh, yes. Thank you, Miss Worm. Thank you, Copernicus, for bringing that up. I didn't bring it up. A variable rate mortgage, yes, will go up and down, more likely go up. So if you have a fixed rate mortgage, no, your mortgage is not going to go up. But if you ended up getting like a balloon or a variable rate mortgage, which only gives you like maybe a guaranteed 2 or 3 years at a fixed rate, and then whatever the market does, yes, more than likely your rates will be going up. Your mortgage will be going up. So hopefully, I'm not a financial advisor, so this is not advice, but I would never, ever, ever, under any circumstance, recommend to anyone to get a variable rate mortgage. Ever, never. No matter how low the interest rates are, never. Always get a fixed rate if you have to get one. Wow, that's crazy. I got an adjustable rate when rates were 14%. Wow, crazy. Incredible. Let's see. Okay, bringing it down some. Hey, Stu, how you doing? Everyone, welcome Stu to the live stream. Stu's first time here. Welcome. Let's see. Dana Green, how are you doing? Jersey Gypsy, how are you? Christine Timchak, Swiss Chard, all the way from South Texas. Good to see you. Sherry Hicks, hello. No, Jeffrey, unless you're getting them for different family members. Jeffrey asks, is there a way to get multiple contingency medical antibiotics? No, you can only get one prescription for yourself or per person once a year. So you can get, for example, one pack today of whatever you're getting, and then a year later, you can get another pack. But you can get one for each of your family members every year if you like, okay? Brenda Penta, how are you doing? All the way from New Hampshire. Good to see you here. Kay Coates, hello. Surfing on Static, thank you very much, Surfing on Static, for that super chat. Jeff Hansen, how are you doing? Good to see you. Amazing Grandma is in the house. Good to see you. Grateful in the Woods, how are you doing? U.S. Army retired. U.S. Army retired says our air marshals are being sent to the border. You put no. I don't know. I do know that they are opening a forward observation base, a FOB, right? A forward observation base down. Pretty much, they're opening they're making a little base right there in the border between Texas and Mexico. And what FOBs are meant to do is they're meant to house a large number of service members, right? Soldiers, Marines, whatever it may be, so that they can rotate in and out. So the federal government doesn't want to do its duties. The only thing that the federal government, as far as I'm concerned, is doing is sabotaging this great nation and also not enforcing the laws that it should be enforcing, but just allowing those laws to be broken and also encouraging people to break laws because they know they're not going to enforce it. America is being dismantled purposefully, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's happening. Anyone that doesn't see that, they're either living such a good life as far because they're very lucky and very blessed, and they don't have to look at prices when they go to the store. Because there's people like that. They go to the store, they never have to look at prices because they know they're going to be able to afford it, right? So anyone that doesn't see what's going on to the United States of America right now, that is being dismantled from the inside, right? From forces that are inside of our own nation and our own leadership. It's because they are very blessed and they refuse to see with their eyes what's happening. Plain and simple. Oh, excellent. Yeah, Yarn Prepper. Thank you for that. Yarn Prepper says, remind people that I took my expired contingency medical kit to my doctor and he approved it to last many years. Yes, and make sure that you store it properly. Right? Look into it and see how you should store it. I'll tell you how I store mine. I store mine in an area that has very low humidity, right? And that always stays around between 50 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit. That's where I store my contingency medical antibiotics and medications. And I talked to a medical professional as well, who's been a pharmacist for a very long time, retired, but was a pharmacist for a very long time. And they said that it will last a very long time, more than a decade. The only thing is that the efficacy of those antibiotics may reduce some, but they will still be good, they will still be good to treat some kind of an infection. So, but that's for you to research, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I get you, U.S. Army retired. Okay, the no was your response. I hear you. Let's see. Gardening Girl, how are you doing? Good to see you. Luke B, how are you doing? Alaska Knight, how are you doing? Good to see you. Let's see. Oops is in the house. How are you doing, Oops? Wade Webb, how are you? And Miss P says yes, that there are air marshals that are being sent to the border. The Awakened One is here. How you doing? Just had a prepper class with trusted name. That is, man, that is so awesome. Awakened One, that's awesome. Good for you. That's great. Reach one, teach one, repeat. That's what it's all about. Let's see. Well, I think that people are starting to wake up, Kelly. All right, Kelly Carver. I can't talk about that here because I'll probably get shut down. All right, if I talk about that here. But I believe that people are starting to wake up. All right, and they're starting to see with their eyes when there have been more people that have lost their lives due to the juicy juice than people that lost their lives due to the actual disease that they say was occurring during the health crisis years. I think people are waking up. And I think that in the coming years, that even more people will wake up because the people that are leaving this earth in its physical form, the people that are passing away from this stuff is going to be such a great number that they're not going to be able to hide it. All right. Unfortunately. And that's just the way it's going to be, in my opinion, of course. So, yes, people are waking up, unfortunately, for the wrong reasons or for very bad reasons. Totally Bonkers, how are you doing? Good to see you. Dale Robertson, hello, how are you? Let's see. Maddie G, how are you? Good to see you. Okay, bringing it down some. I'm falling behind again. Man, I'll tell you what, Jammer Travels, if live streams are for making super chat money, man, I'm glad I don't count on that. I don't ever ask for anyone to do a super chat. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't let me go ahead and give you my spiel that I give people whenever you do a super chat or if you join the ladies and gentlemen's club or my Patreon. If you walk into your pantry and take a look at your preps, right? If you walk into your pantry and you don't tell yourself, man, this looks awesome, I am good to go, like I am so prepared that I am just awesome, right? If you can't say that when you walk into their pantry, don't give me a super chat. Don't join the ladies and gentlemen's club or my Patreon. Don't do that. If you walk into your pantry and you see that there's gaps that you need to fill, if you know that there are preps that you need to get that will benefit you in case anything happens, if you know that there's anything that you need whatsoever, don't do any of that stuff, ladies and gentlemen, because the best way that you can support what I do is to watch my videos, let them play all the way through. If there's an ad, donate 15 to 30 seconds of your time, let the ad run through. If it's an ad that runs more than 30 seconds, just skip it after 30 seconds, because that's the key number that it gives the YouTube algorithm to continue to share the videos, right? What else? And yeah, just leave a comment and share the videos. Those are the things that you can do to really support the channel. But as far as money, I don't ever remember ever asking anyone to donate any money whatsoever. And those times where we did have like a drive where I collected money by auctioning off some silver coins or et cetera, it was to do charity events. So, but anyways, it's more important to me, in all honesty, that you are as best prepared as you can possibly be. Why is that? Because the better prepared that we are as a nation, the better that it will be for all of us. So, for example, let's say that you live in a cul-de-sac and there's 12 houses around your cul-de-sac, right? Let's just say that. let's say that something really, really bad happens of a systemic nature. Let's pick the one that everyone likes to talk about. The lights go out, the electricity goes out, they're never coming back. Will you be better off if every one of your neighbors in your cul-de-sac was really well prepared, or if no one was and you were the only one that was well prepared? Of course, that if everyone in your cul-de-sac was very well prepared, you would all be able to weather that storm a lot better than if all of the neighbors in your cul-de-sac were starving and you were the only one with food. So I rather that our nation be a nation of preppers instead of maybe every other house or one house in 10 being prepared. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you are prepared first and foremost before you donate any kind of cash for anything. All right. Because that's more important to me. Let me see. Mellow Maniac, how are you doing? All the way from Alabama. Steve Levinson, how are you doing? How long does fish mox last? I would have to say I'm only guessing, all right, because I'm not a medical professional, all right? So do your own research. I would have to say just as long as any other moxicillin that's prescribed. From what I understand, those medicines are pretty much made in the same location by the same companies, okay? They just market them for fish instead of for humans, but they're the exact same pills. All right, so that's what I would say to that. Hey, thank you very much, Busted Beak. Thank you for that. Hillbilly Prepper is in the house. How you doing, Hillbilly Prepper? Good to see you. Let's see. Eva Hernandez, how are you? Good to see you. Are you not afraid that the government will tell you to shut up because there are many of us who follow you, and in many, many things you are right? I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of it. And if the government tells me to shut up, I may have to, right, ladies and gentlemen? Because who knows how they'll tell you. What's the name of that gentleman that is considered to be like the head of the boycott, the trucker boycott? I forget his name, okay? But it's being speculated that he was told to shut up. And you have to understand that a man is just a man. And when I say that, I always have to explain that what I mean is any kind of man or woman, right? A man is just a man, right? And there's only so much you can do. If you have a family and you're putting out truth, or at least what you believe to be truth, right? And a government which has unlimited resources, right? They have unlimited resources to do whatever they want to do, tells you, you better shut up. Or when you get home, you're not going to find your house there. You're not going to find your family there. We're going to bankrupt you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Whatever it may be, make up your own mind as to what scenario could play out. What would you do? What would you do, ladies and gentlemen? So you just never know, right? So I would love to stand here and say, I would love to, but I'd be lying to you, right? Because a man's biggest weakness, in my opinion, a man's biggest weakness is their family, right? Because a man would do anything for his or her family, right? So I would love to tell you that I would be like, screw you, I'm gonna say whatever I want to say, blah 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 blah, right? But what if they say something that makes you think, wow, these guys can get away with anything, right? They can get away with anything, right? I mean, look at what's going on right now. Look at what's going on with our administration right now, with the federal government right now. In the long run, they may not be getting away with it when things go through the court system, but while these things are going through the court system, they surely are getting away with it. So anyways, I mean, I don't know, that kind of a question is one of those things that's like, we'll have to cross that bridge if and when we get there. Hopefully we'll never get there, right? Okay, let's see. Linda Bob, how are you? Good to see you. Always nice to see you here. Up north of 60, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome. Imini, No, Emily, it's not the end of the world. Actually, I think that Nostradamus, there was this lady that's kind of like Nostradamus. She said that the end of the world is going to occur in the year 4300 and something. Yep, that's what they said. They said that after the year 4300 and something, there's not going to be a Earth left. Whatever reason, I don't know. Let's see. Victor Rivera, how are you doing? All the way from Puerto Rico. Good to see you. Oh, that's funny. My super chat to you was to help you get a haircut. You know what? My wife's gonna give me a haircut, and I just hate getting haircuts. I just don't like getting haircuts. She gave me a little bit of a beard trim today, but man, I just hate getting haircuts. I was like, I'm just gonna let my hair grow for the next year. I think I made an appointment with my wife to get a haircut either tomorrow or Tuesday. Oh goodness. Thank you though. Thank you very much. If she watches this, she's gonna be like, where's the money for the haircut? Oh goodness. I'm glad I did this live stream today. I really am. We're at an hour already. Oh, Linda Bob has a great question. When will enough be enough when the people have suffered so much that they can't take it no more? That's when enough will be enough. Everyone, when anyone thinks about 1776, right? Remember 1776, the shot heard around the world. That's not when the revolution started. The revolution started years ago, before 1776. It started years before 1776. It just took so many years to get to the point where the people have finally had enough and they decided that we cannot live like this anymore. And obviously, the people in the United States of America have not gotten to that point yet because of all of the propaganda, because of all of the lies that government tells, because of the money printer. The money printer that government uses is a very big reason why the people have not gotten to a point where they've suffered enough. All right. So, but the day will come. And unfortunately, it will come. Right. Unfortunately, it's not going to be fixed in a peaceable manner. Just like Thomas Jefferson said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you've heard this 1,000 times. And if you haven't, I'm very happy to be telling it to you. I will paraphrase his quote. And he said that the tree of liberty has to be watered by the blood of patriots and tyrants every so many generations. And that is a fact. Right? That is a fact. Once a government loses its morals, and once a government abuses the financial system that the citizenry works towards and supplements with their labor, once they lose that financial system or abuse it and lose their morals, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. There's no coming back. We are at the point of no return in this nation. Something very drastic will have to happen. And what I'm guessing, this is what I'm guessing, not saying that it will happen, is that the powers that be will implement some kind of a major crisis that they can take advantage of in order to put forth the agenda that they've been working towards for the last several decades, right? Because this has been planned for decades. And those of you that don't think that this has been planned, I'm not trying to down you or call you out or anything like that, but you're kind of like maybe have your head, in the sand. This has been planned. The destruction of the United States of America has been planned for decades. It's called the Cloward-Piven strategy. Just look it up. It's easy to look up. Look up what the Cloward-Piven strategy is. Cloward-Piven are two professors. I believe they taught different things, and it was in the University of Columbia. They came up with a strategy that said, how can we take a capitalist society? And don't misunderstand capitalism with cronyism. Two different things. Crony capitalism is completely different than what capitalism is. Capitalism is freedom. Capitalism is you buying from me whatever I'm selling, because what I'm selling to you is worth what you're giving me for it. It's the free exchange of value, pretty much. It's where the government does not get in the way and allows companies to succeed that should succeed. But more importantly, it allows companies to fail that should fail instead of bailing them out with the labor of their constituents. See, that's socialism. That's socialism on a large level, company size level, right? Because the government doesn't come to help you out when you fail, but they go and help out corporations. So it's called corporate socialism. Well, these two professors 60 or so years ago, they were like, you know what? If we create a system where the people need entitlements, i.e., Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, food stamps, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, all of these entitlements that the government now provides to people that did not earn those entitlements, with the exception of Social Security, because Social Security, every single person that put into it should get their money back. Okay, Medicare maybe also, but you know what I'm talking about: Section 8, housing, food stamps, all that kind of stuff. They said, let's build a system where the people get hooked on that stuff, and then once the people are hooked on that stuff, let's go ahead and see if we can use that stuff that we're giving in order to buy votes. And then once the people start waking up that we're using this system in order to buy votes, that we really don't care about them, once they start waking up, let's go ahead and overwhelm those systems. And once we overwhelm those systems, what's happening right now with all of those systems, with all of these people that are coming through that shouldn't be here, all of our systems are being overwhelmed. And then when all of these systems that people rely on get overwhelmed and they implode, that is a great time for the government to come in and say, hey, we're going to save you and we will take away the pain, but you have to let us do this, A, B, and C. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the beginning of the end of freedom, right? Once the people have suffered enough, they will say, we have had enough, and we will do it collectively. No matter what your skin color is, no matter where you're from, no matter what your religion is, it don't matter. No matter what your ideology is, there will come a time where the people will come together and say, we've had enough. And then that's when the fighting begins. So get prepared. I'm just talking about history is all. That's what history has shown us. Battleborn, how you doing from the Silver State? Good to see you. I'm guessing that the Silver State is Nevada. So I'm guessing yeah, you are from Nevada. Okay. It says Nevada on your thumbnail. Okay. So I was like, yep, Nevada. All right. Let's bring it on down some. Very good. Grateful in the Woods. Oh, man. Zurich Child's Play. How are you? I need to get a small portable solar unit to continue doing fridge, etc. in an emergency. Do you have a recommendation? Well, the thing is that I don't think you're going to be able to get away with a small solar unit, depending on what you mean by small. And I deal with solar generators. I deal with Opus. Opus is my favorite brand solar generator for a few reasons. Number one, you get what they tell you you're going to get. So if they tell you this solar generator here, this is the Mega 2. If they tell you this thing will do 2,500 watts continuous, guess what? It's going to do 2,500 watts continuous. If they tell you that it's going to input up to 1,800 watts of solar, it's because it's going to input up to 1,800 watts of solar. So you're going to get what they tell you you're going to get. They're not going to fluff up the specifications just to get you to buy it. Second reason that I really like it is because it's not very fancy. It just uses buttons for the most part. So it's not very fancy, but you get a lot of bang for your buck. For example, this Mega 2 right here, this is Mega 2. It's 2,500 watts continuous. It has a battery cell that is, I believe, 2,072 watt hours. And it comes in at about 1,000 change. Okay. I think it's like $1,079 or something like that. That is a great price for that machine. But not only that, you can attach or connect up to 4 additional 2,072 watt hour batteries to it. So in the end, if you want to go ahead and upgrade this to its fullest capacity, you're going to have about 10,000 watt hours of this. Now, a refrigerator, let's say you have a refrigerator that runs about, on average, that runs about 400 to 500 watt hours. That's probably going to last you about a full 24 hours with this machine right here. Okay, because even though a refrigerator runs on average 400 to 500 watts, like when the compressor turns on or it surges, it doesn't mean that it's running 400 or 500 watts every single hour of the whole day. It turns on and it turns off. So a solar generator like this will keep your refrigerator slash freezer running probably for about a full day or so. But you can hook up batteries to it if you want to. And they have solar generator of all sizes. That's 2,000 watt hours. Then you got the Mega 3, that's 3,000 watt hours. You got the Mega 5, that's 5,000 watt hours. You got a whole bunch. I just like them because they have a good quality solar generator at a good price. And the people behind it, they do good stuff. They like to help the community. That helps them become successful by doing Opus Helps, which helps people who can't afford to get a solar generator because of their socioeconomic status or condition. It helps them by giving it to them for free if they need it for like a medical device, et cetera, et cetera. So they're the main company that I deal with. I do review a solar generator from different company every once in a while, but Opus is the one that I've settled with because I think they're a solid company. Alaska One Andy, how you doing? I have not tried Blackbeard fire starters. I have not. You know what? After starting a few fires, you know what I think a great fire starter is? Believe it or not, your cotton balls with Vaseline. I think those things are great fire starters. They start so easy. I think that everyone should have a pull start fire starter in their bug out bag or get home bag or preps, just in case you find yourself in a situation where you just don't have any hand dexterity and you need a fire in a hurry. And that pull start fire starter, I think, is a great thing to have because you don't need anything special. All you do is pull it apart and it starts and it runs for about half an hour, which will give you plenty of time to put wood on it and burn it and, get warm if that's what you're looking for. Let's see. The Lamb is the light. How are you? I got the EcoFlow Delta Pro 3600 for that very reason on sale. That's a pretty good price. EcoFlow is a solid solar generator. They're a little pricier, a little bit on the pricier side, but it's a solid solar generator. Okay, like 3600, right? The Mega 3 is 3072 watt hours, so about 500 watt hours less. But you would have ended up paying roughly about $800 less for it. But whatever works for you is what matters. As long as you have it, that's the important thing. And always remember that if you're going to get a solar generator, that you should have a gas generator first. If you can have it where you live. Obviously, if you like live in an apartment, you're not going to be able to really use one in an apartment, right? But like if you live in a home where you can actually put a small gasoline or liquid propane generator in your yard and run it, I always say have one of those first because you can dictate how much gasoline you put away for an emergency, but you can't make the sun break the cloud cover if that's what's happening. Pretty much you know that you're going to have that gas for so many days if something happens, but you can't make the sun come out if it's not going to come out and power your solar panels. So I would always have that. I believe that a solar generator is a great thing to have that will complement a gas generator. But I think that you should have a gas generator first. That's just the way I think. That's what I think. And, a gas generator and a solar generator together, man, it's great. Having both of those together for a long-term outage especially, it's really great. I did a video here a while back where I ran my house on a solar generator without using solar panels and just recharging it with a gas generator. And then I broke down how much gas I needed in order to run my house for a whole month. And it's really cheap. It's not a lot. So I think having both of them is perfect. All right. So let me see how far behind I am again. I'm not that far behind. I'm only like 10 minutes behind right now. So I'm going to stay on track here. Absolutely. As long as we figure out who the real enemy is, the bionic nomad, As long as we all collectively figure out who the real enemy is and people wake up, no one can beat us, right? We have all the power. We really do. We have all the power, but we decide to divide. We decide to allow them to divide us with their propaganda. But yeah, once people realize that we have the power, we can do anything. Let's see. Okay, I'm looking for questions, ladies and gentlemen. Salty Dog, how you doing, Salty Dog? Good to see you. The Fookster, how are you doing? Good to see you. The Bionic Nomad says, I want to build my own solar system. It's very expandable. Yeah, by all means, go ahead, do it. The thing about building your own solar system is that it's not very, you can't move it very easily, mainly because of the batteries. The batteries, in my opinion, is what would keep me from building my own solar system, my own solar energy system, is because the batteries, especially here in Alaska, they're very pricey. And I mean, for what you get for a compact unit that has everything included, like this right here, whatever, whichever one, this one, everything's in there. You can take it with you, and it's not a pain in the butt to take with you anywhere. Everything's in there with the exception of the solar panels, and those you can take with you. But I really like those because it's just so portable. But making your own, think about the batteries and how much they're going to weigh and everything. It's just a lot. But making your own solar system, if you're going to be staying in one spot, making your own is not difficult. It's really not difficult. There's just a few components that you need, a little bit of know-how, and you should be good. All right. So I mean, really quick going with it. You're obviously going to need batteries, right? But those batteries are going to have to get charged. What are they going to get charged by? They're going to get charged by a charge controller, right? A charge controller is going to take the energy that your solar panels are making. It's going to take it and it's going to route it to your batteries, your 12 volt, right? It's going to route it to your batteries. And then once it routes it to your batteries, you're going to go ahead and connect to the other end of your batteries. You're going to connect a what's it called again? An inverter. You're going to get your inverter connected to that, and that's going to turn your 12 volt or DC power into AC power, which you will then be able to connect whatever appliance it is that you want to connect to it. If you're connecting AC to it, all right? It's not very difficult. It's just, to me, the batteries is the big thing. The batteries is really what would keep me from doing one, because I really wouldn't be able to move it around where I wanted to easily. So you really can't be that static with it as far as moving around. Okay, let's see. Bringing down some. Okay. Yep, I'm seeing a lot of people saying, yeah, we can only be pushed so far. And that's how humanity works. Humanity works to where, in my opinion, people will continue to put up with something until they just can't put up with it anymore. So let's see. Debbie is asking, how do you clean sodium out of the water? Man, you're talking about like seawater, salt water? You can do reverse osmosis with salt water, where you're going to be replacing that filter quite often. There's always evaporation as well. You can use evaporation, or you can use distill. You can distill the water to get the salt out of it and just get pure water out of it. There's a few ways, but all of them are pretty much you're going to need some energy. The only way that I know of that you can actually remove the salt from water so that you can drink that water is through evaporation. And it's very simple. Let's say you have a kid's pool, right? And you have it full of salt water. Well, if above it, you incorporate above it like a plastic canopy that has an angle that's greater than the other, then when the water evaporates, it's going to get blocked by that plastic canopy, and then the water is going to trickle down, hopefully somewhere where you can catch it. and then that water will have no salt. Then in the end, when all the water has evaporated from that kid's pool, let's say, you'll be left with salt, with just salt and whatever particulates, other particulates was in that water. So, I mean, you can do that, and that would work. AS Blessed, how are you? Good to see you. Which gas generator would you recommend? Again, I can only recommend to you those that I have used and I think are good. I really like the Furman that I purchased from Costco. I purchased 2 of them. One of them is the big one, which is a tri-fuel. It uses gasoline, it uses propane, and it can also use natural gas. To me, it's a dual fuel because I can't use natural gas with it. We don't have it here. But that generator is a monster. It's one of the ones that makes a lot of noise, okay? But it's never let me down. Not this year, but last year, I needed to use it in the middle of about 30 degrees below zero. I went outside, I started it up, and it started right up at 30 degrees below zero. All right, ladies and gentlemen? So it works great, in my opinion. It's never let me down. So something like that is enough to power 2 houses. And I got that on purpose, that it could power 2 houses so that I can power my house if I have to during a power outage that's big enough where I need to power my house. I have so many solar generators now and smaller generators where I really don't need that, but I can also use the excess energy as I'm powering my house to power all of my other solar generators backups that I have. Or I can actually extend a cord to my neighbor and have them, you know, maybe pitch in for gasoline and he can go ahead and hook up. All right, so that's one, the Furman. That's the one that's usually for sale at Costco. I believe it's like 8,500 watts, continuous watts that come out of it. I also purchased a small Furman, the one that's like 2,000 watts. That one I've used several times. It's always been a good little generator. All right, I have the small Honda. Excuse me, I have a Honda, but that's not the one I'm talking about. I have the small Yamaha generator, which I purchased a few years back for like $350. Works great. And I also purchased the Honda 2200i, which is a very pricey generator. I got it because I wanted to compare it to the cheaper ones. That Furman and that Yamaha, those were like $350 a piece. That Honda that I bought was like $1,050. And ladies and gentlemen, unless it's an issue with longevity, like meaning, let's say, for example, that the Furman and the Yamaha, that those maybe only last 5 years if I run them every day, and the Honda maybe last 10 or 20 years. If it's an issue for longevity, I don't know because I haven't owned them that long. But as far as how they worked, how they function, to me, they were all just as good. The Honda was just as good as the Furman, and the Yamaha, vice versa. All right, even though the Honda is like 3 times more expensive than the other ones. I've never had a problem with any of them. Okay. I also purchased a very small, I think it was 1,000 watt generator that runs only on propane, which worked pretty well. And I also have an EcoFlow smart generator that I reviewed for EcoFlow here a while back. If you want to take a look at any of those reviews, ladies and gentlemen, just type into my videos, type in generator, Furman, Honda, Delta, EcoFlow, excuse me, smart generator, and it should come in and you'll see me reviewing them and telling you what the pros and cons are for them. Okay. Oh, really? Well water that's high in sodium. Wow. I guess it's different no matter where you live. I would say reverse osmosis would be the way that I would go. Terry asked, what about the pharmacy hack and people not getting their scripts? So that's what someone was talking about earlier in the live stream about pharmacies not getting their scripts. Yeah, you know what? I haven't even really looked into that very much. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the thing is that, in my opinion, hackers are everywhere. They are everywhere. And I believe that it's one of the reasons why our nation doesn't do certain things, militarily speaking. And it's one of the reasons why I believe that we will never go and back up Taiwan. I don't think we're going to back up Taiwan if China does anything with Taiwan. I believe that China owns this administration. Not only that, but I believe that China now, if you saw my last video, my news video that I put out on Saturday, yesterday, go check it out. Why do you think that all of these Chinese people are actually coming in through our porous borders? Where are they going? What are they doing? How are they getting here, ladies and gentlemen? Right? What do you think they're doing here? Anyways, I believe that there's several types of governments that own this government here, this administration that own them, pretty much telling them, you better not do this or else. They have their ransomware everywhere. It's everywhere. It's like I said, we have to get ready for the next several years. For the next several years, things are going to get incrementally worse. We may have a little bit of a respite here or there where things look like they're going to get okay, but no, for the next several years, this is what I think about 2032, 2033 is when things are going to go to the other side. Is when we are going to enter into the season of spring. Right now, we are in the season of winter, right? And the season of winter is the season of crisis. We are going to continue to see crisis after crisis after crisis and wars after wars after wars for the next several years. And then when we turn to the next decade, probably around 2032, 2033, I think that by that time, good will have prevailed over evil. And that we will be entering into the spring, the season of spring, let's say, where things are really good. Things are looking up. There's life in the air. But right now we are in the season of winter/crisis. And we're going to continue to go through that. And it's going to get worse and worse as the years go by until the climax occurs where, all hell breaks loose. Excuse my French. And then we're going to have to fight. There's going to be a fight. Somewhere, somehow or another, there'll be a fight. And that's not me wishful thinking. That's just me taking a look at cycles and taking a look at history. Unfortunately, but it is what it is. And how can I say it so nonchalantly? Because there's nothing that I can do about it or that you can do about it, ladies and gentlemen. What's going to happen is going to happen. In my opinion, it's already been written. Okay. Hey, great. Bass Ackward Universe. Look up a solar still for what I was just talking about. Is still. Yep, look that up, ladies and gentlemen. Those things work. But, we found out here that they were talking about a well that has salt water in it, man. That's reverse osmosis, the only thing I can think about that would take care of that from a well. Okay, what time is it? All right, we're going to go ahead and close it here pretty soon. What is this? Corina Evans? Why are some persons' names? Oh, those are members of the Ladies and Gentlemen's Club, Corina. Thank you for asking. Yes, absolutely. Busted Beak says, I have a Generac 10 kilowatt and it works great. Absolutely. Generac is a great brand. Tell you the truth, the reason why I have a Furman is because it was on sale. I bought that Furman years ago, and I think it was like $499, I think. I mean, right now, if it goes on sale, you'll be lucky if you get it for $699. But it was on sale. I saw the reviews on it. They were pretty good reviews. So that's why I bought it. But if I would have seen a Generac for around the same price, I would have probably bought that. But yeah, that's good. That's good. Demo back. How many watts does your Yamaha put out? About 2,000 continuous. It puts out about 2,000 continuous. But the thing with those small generators is even the Honda, if it says 2,000 or 2,200 in the case of the Honda, if you're pulling 2,200 continuous out of there, man, those little things strain. And every once in a while, they'll turn off. Right. And that's not the generator. It's just that I don't think they were meant to be running at 100% full capacity all the time. So I often say that, and this is what I stand by, that if you have, let's say, for example, that in order to keep your house running during a power outage, let's say you need a refrigerator, let's say you need A, B, and C, right? And A, B, and C is a total of let's say 1,000 watts to make it simple. I always said that if you take whatever wattage you need to have running continuous, you should get a generator that will give you at least 1.5 times that wattage continuous. So if you need 1,000 watts, you should get a generator that will give you 1,500 watts continuous. If you need 2,000 watts, you should get a generator that'll give you 3,000 watts continuous or bigger, right? Because that takes care of any surge in the demand of power. Right? So I think if you do that, that'll be great. But my little iYamaha puts out about the same thing that the Furman puts out, about 2,000. But if you leave it at 2,000 for too long and then it gets a little surge, it's going to go ahead and crank out on you, just like anyone would. Even the Honda does that. Oh, New Florida Prepper One. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Yeah, notifications aren't very popular with YouTube nowadays, are they? Dale Robertson says, I've taken one too many shots. Please stop saying, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, you're going to have to take one more, Dale, okay? Don't worry, we're about to close it out, okay? Yes, I do. I think Blue Eddy is a very good solar generator brand. Very good. The only problem with Blue Eddy is that I can't review any of them anymore. They won't ship up here. So if they were willing to ship up here, I would be more than happy to review them. I've been contacted by them several times, and then as soon as they see my address, they're like, oh, we can't ship up there, which they can ship up here. It's just expensive. And I don't blame them. I do not blame them for not shipping up here because it's expensive. Opus, they decide to ship up here, even though it's expensive. And I'm glad that they do, because I think they're a great solar generator. For the price, they're an excellent solar generator. But if Blue Eddy doesn't want to ship up here, there's nothing that I can do about that. But they are a good brand. Now, this is just my opinion, right? Their legacy models, I love. I love the EB2400, all right, or the EB240, I think it is. I like it because it's simple. It has 3 buttons. I love it. All right. I actually gifted mine to Dick from the Alaska Rare Coins. But their newer models, what I don't like about them is that some of them is that they have one point of failure when it comes to operating the system, which is their touch screen. So if they have a touch screen and they also have like buttons, to me, that would be great. That's 2 points of failure, right? If one of them fails, you got the other as a backup. But they have only touch screens, and I just don't like that. I really don't like apps and stuff like that. But they have a very good quality solar generator. There are on the pricier side, but I believe that with Blue Eddy that you do get what you pay for. Okay. Opus is more my style of solar generator. Opus is, because it's plain, it's not fancy. Like, you never see me with a suit on or a tie. It's not fancy. You just get what you pay for. A good solar generator that's going to give you what it says it's going to give you. It's not fancy, but it gets the job done. All right. That's why I like Opus, because of that. I've often told Opus since the beginning when I started reviewing them, I said, don't ever go to only a touchscreen. If you ever go to a touchscreen, which they have not, and I'm happy about that, they've done an app, right, which in my opinion is not a great app, but I don't like apps anyways. But they haven't gone to a touchscreen, and I'm very happy that they haven't, because I just don't think that the solar generator needs it. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. How you doing, Ed Kirkpatrick? How you doing? Turn on the toaster. That's 1,500 watts if you have a double toaster. About 800 watts if you have a single toaster. Okay. A microwave about 1,100 watts, so that's 1,900 watts. A hair dryer is about 1,500 watts, so that's about 3,400 watts you're looking at if you have all of these things on high. So if you have a small generator, yeah, that's going to struggle really hard. More than likely it'll turn off if you have a 2,000. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and start closing it off because we've been on for like an hour and 40 minutes. Time just flies, doesn't it? I want to invite you again to check out our live stream tomorrow with Gray Man Prepping on his channel. All right. And it's going to be fun like it always is. I don't know if I'm going to have a video up tomorrow, but I will have one up on Tuesday for sure. All right. Other than that, hey, I want to thank you very much for joining in. I'm glad that I saw some of you that I don't normally see on Fridays. So hopefully you were able to catch this live stream because it's not on Friday. And that's why I do these live streams every once in a while, so that those that can't join us during our regularly scheduled live streams, that they can join us on these days. All right. So I hope that you have a great rest of your weekend, a great week ahead. Take care of each other. God bless every one of you. God bless America. If you're new here, or if this is your first live stream, go ahead and put on new in all caps. That way we can welcome you into our community during the outro. Right. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. God bless every one of you. We will see you next time. I'm Alaska Prepper. God bless America. And I am out. Let me see. Here's our outro. All right.